Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Daniel, and today I'm going to talk about something that's very close to my heart. I know I want to share a life that I went through as an immigrant in Australia. I came to Australia in 2004 and my mum was a student visa and everyone else in the family depended on my mum. So my mum studied to get a bachelor's in religion, and my dad worked in the time being. He was basically anyone. He was a tiler, he was a painter, he was a mover, cleaner, he did anything that could get money for us, for our family. My early life from 2004 to about 2008, it was very tough. I'm settling in because I didn't know how to speak English, and just for that one reason I couldn't fit in. And with my personality being an introvert, it was harder for me to adapt into new life. So up until 2008, unfortunately I didn't know how to speak English. I was only able to say a word or two, but I couldn't have a proper conversation. So in 2009, 2012, that's the time where I finished my high school, and it's a period where I learned my English. I met my friends in my life, and I lived that normal life that I would expect as a kid. Up until then, I didn't know what things were going on in our family. I was only focused on myself, and so I lived my life in that way. And after I finished my high school, fortunately, I was able to receive a decent mark and I was able to get into university that I wanted to get in, and that was in 2013. However, it was different for my parents. I didn't know how expensive the tuition fee had been up to now, but at the end of that year, my parents sat us down and told us that they can no longer financially support our studies. And it was actually mind-blowing for me to even hear it now. That 2013 year alone, my tuition fee was over 36,000. My sister's was 25,000. So us put together was just under $60,000 to 1 year of study at university. Now this number is still mind-blowing to me, but back then it was even worse, right? Finding that out at the age of 18 was very hard. It was very shocking. So we had to pause our studies. So I just worked because that's the only thing I could do to help the family. But in 2013, it's actually the year where we first lodged our permanent residency application, but we were refused. We were lacking evidence. A couple months later, we relodged the application, but we were let down by that as well. This had really put us down because every time you lodge an application, it normally costs about anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000, including the lawyer's fee or the logistics in between. Now, when you come to that point, the government doesn't give you any more chance to apply. You can go through a court process, called MRT. I think it's now called AAT, Administrative Appeal Tribunal. It's like a court case where you sit in front of a judge with your solicitor and appeal your case, situation that you are more than eligible to get the visa that you need. Right, but then the percentage of winning that case was very, very slim, because the judge has so much respect behind the immigration center that whatever we appeal is really just a last piece of hope that we are grasping. But we had to do our best, we had to try for it, right? So from 2013 onwards, up until 2015 when we had our MRT hearing, we were on our bridging visa. Now that puts us in a position where we're not allowed to leave the country. We're basically not even Australian, not even Korean, we're like nobody, It's a place where we are on air. It's like a space of uncertainty, Nothing is in front of us that we can see until that hearing date, which took about a year for them to decide when we will do the hearing. And it took another 6 months for them to schedule us onto a specific date. So it took us about a year and a half to 2 years to find out the date. So during this period we went through a lot of struggle as a family. But then the blessings in that was we were able to come together because things got so serious that my parents couldn't handle things by themselves. They needed our help. And so I had to jump in. Not that I knew anything about the visas and whatnot, but I had to do something, right? So I helped my parents with interpreting with our solicitor. We met different people asking for different help, but we moved as a family, and that was the biggest blessings of the time during that crisis for us. And now that I look back to it, the fact that we were able to stay together, no one derailing out of the track, putting our minds into one goal, getting our permanent residency. So on that hearing day, we did our case. It wasn't a successful hearing. We had lost the case, but our solicitor was very, very bright. He was very intelligent, that he picked up some sort of an attitude or a biased decision made by the judge, and he actually appealed that to us, saying that we could actually complain the attitude and the intimidation the judge had brought us, which put us down into a position where we couldn't say anything. He lodged another complaint to the government that what the judge did was not fair, and he was biased. So we counteract that. So he was smart enough to make that decision as soon as we walked out of that hearing room. And so we had another string of hope, that came after. So we did that. So we put our minds together again, put our documents together, and our solicitor filed the complaint. And in 2016, after a year later, we had won the case and we had received the permanent residency, right? So it took us from 2004 to 2016, so it took us 12 years for us to receive a permanent resident visa. I still remember that November, we met in the lounge room. We stood up and we hugged ourselves and we cried the whole night. It was our cry of victory. It was the first victory of our life as an immigrant in Australia. My parents, as it is for all others, my parents went through so much up until then, with discrimination, with racism. But then what hurt my parents more was the people around them had given harder time than actual strangers on the road, right? And that's what tear my parents apart, because the only people they had left behind was just us. And thinking about how many times they wanted to give up in Australia just makes me feel so humbling, and it makes me feel so grateful about my parents, because in a foreign land, in this country, the only thing they could do is say yes, right? Yeah. They can only say yes and sorry. That's the only thing they said. And they will do anything they can to get what we want, right? And that night, when we found out that we won the case and we won and we received our permanent residency, it hit me hard, right? It made me reflect what my parents had to go through for us. Sorry. So from 2016 to 2018, that's when we had our ups and downs in there as well, because of the new law being changed with the immigration department. But moving forward, eventually we received our citizenship in January 2018. So our first chapter of our life as an immigrant from 2004 finished on 2018. that 14 years of our life has been a journey for us. It's been a long road, and it's been a hard one. You know, the reason I'm sharing this story is not to tell you that my life was hard and therefore your life is not. You know, every case in Australia is different, and so every hardship is therefore different. We cannot compare ourselves to one another. We can only acknowledge and appreciate what they're going through, so we can only express that. And I just have so much respect for those who are in Australia or who are in any way in the world, for their courage to come out of their comfort zone for the betterment of their future and for their future generations. Yet, like I said earlier, sometimes strangers are nicer than the people you trust. When the people you trust turn their back on you, that is the most heartbreaking thing. Looking at my parents in Australia, they have their self-worth, they have their ego. We're all humans, we all have that human nature things, right? But them not being able to express how they feel because they felt like they were in an inferior position since we didn't have a visa. You know, it just broke my heart. You know, and the things that they had to go through for us, for our better life, it's just nothing but humbling myself, you know. I want you guys to keep your head up. We had lucks on our side that had helped us come to this point for sure. Like with MRT, we would not have won for the judge to be biased, for us to be able to pick that up. I think that's a luck as well. But we were able to create that luck because we were working together. I'm a big believer that anyone can create their luck by positioning themselves differently, looking at life in different perspective. Luck definitely exists in life, and I mean, from the get-go, like, how lucky am I to be able to be born from my parents, right? It's a 4 trillion to 1 chance to create a human being, right? And me being able to talk in front of a camera is already a blessing for me. But sometimes we take things for granted for so much because things are so normal for us. And this life from 2004 up until 2018, it really taught me how to appreciate the little things in life and how luck can be created. When you're persistently consistent with your mind, you know, I think you can do anything in life. And so yeah, kind of went long, but I hope you guys found some value out of this by me sharing this little bit of story with you. If anyone needs any help in life, in terms of their visa status, or just want to talk to me about anything, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to have a chat with you. You never give up, and always keep your head up, guys. Speak to you guys soon.